moms, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking toddler bed transitions.
So, as you all know, we both have toddlers, and eventually it comes to that time where they are no longer in the crib. And it's been an interesting transition for sure. So we actually tried to do the transition a little earlier than I would have liked, because we had an attempted escape, and Ari is just so short. I just knew she was going to fall. She was not going to successfully get out of her bed. I know she wasn't. She was going to get up to the top and like something was going to bad was going to happen. Yeah. Yes. So I think it was like, so she turned 2 in August. I'm pretty sure it was September or October that we attempted the toddler bed transition the first time. And so what we did was we bought a bed. Her crib does transition into a toddler bed, but our plan for hopefully this year is to have to need that bed, or next year, but is to hopefully have to need that crib again. So we bought her a little white toddler bed that matches her other furniture that she has in her room now, and put it together. And it didn't really work out for like a whole month. We only had the one mattress, so we put it over in the bed. And it didn't work. She did not stay in the bed. She was like, this is really cool. Okay, I'm done. She's like, I'm going to play. I'm going to come back out. So then we put the mattress back in her bed, and she had to sleep in her bed. We tried nap time first. That was the first one that we tried. And no, it didn't work out.
I remember thinking like, and I don't mean this in like a judgy way, but I do remember thinking like, damn, that's early. But I guess it's not. I mean, so some people, like, we know a mom that, I mean, her son wasn't in a real bed till he was like 4, which I was really hoping for.
Well, it's not our luck.
But I do remember being like, damn, that's early.
Yeah, I wanted to wait longer. Yeah. You know, like we were talking about, we would like to get pregnant, and so we would like to have that crib to use, but, you know, we're not going to stress until that comes. But then with the attempted, like, escape, I'm like, no.
It's not worth the risk.
It's not.
It's not worth the risk.
And then if it happened like last time that we, like, started treatments and, like, immediately got pregnant, then we were going to need that crib. And that was going to be I wanted her to have time to adjust to having her own bed, right?
Yeah.
And so, and also at Mike's parents' house, she sleeps in a toddler bed. So that way we don't have to take the pack and play with us.
Yeah.
At my parents, she still sleeps in a crib, but she slept in the toddler bed fine at Mike's parents' house. And so, you know, she slept there again in November, I think we were down there. And then when we got back home, we were like, okay, no more crib. We're going to do it.
Just going to do it. Just jump in and do it.
And then Oliver had come to stay with us a day or two or something, and we had his pack and play up in her room. So we, I just was lazy and hadn't taken it down. Well, that was a mistake because we took her crib out of the bedroom. When we decided she's going to go in the toddler bed, we took the crib out. And so she didn't have an option. Well, the pack and play was up, so she had an option. And so then we were like, well, that's a mistake too. So we took the pack and play down, and then it's been interesting since then, but she's been in the toddler bed. Most nights are fine. Naps are usually the best time because she's just like so tired. She's like, okay.
It's short, like
it's short.
It's different.
At nighttime. Oh God. At nighttime, it does take her some time to go to sleep. When we're at my parents', she's asleep in 5-10 minutes usually because there's nothing else to do. But at home, she does have toys, and it's usually fine. We remind her over the camera. It's like, you know, the voice of the universe, go to bed. And she usually within 30 minutes she's asleep. But, it's been interesting. What about you? How has it been for you?
Oliver's changing table used to be probably maybe this far.
I think it was 2 feet away from his crib.
I don't think no. His arms are not that long. But it was probably like this. And he got out one time because he had grabbed onto the side of the changing table, pulled himself out, and then climbed down and got out. And so I slid. I was like, I don't think we're there yet. So I slid down the changing table and I moved his bed down further. It didn't happen again for months and months and months. And then
the first time, it was closer the first time. Okay. I was thinking the last time, right before you did the toddler bed transition.
Oh, no. He didn't need it then. No.
Right.
So the second time, he got out, I think it was for Rick first, maybe. I can't remember. But it was a little over a month ago, or about a month ago now. And he was just pulling himself over the side of the bed and getting down. And there was no keeping him in.
Well, you sent me a picture, and you were like, so this happened, and he was just in the bed with you.
Oh,
no, he was in the bed with you. And I'm did he get out?
That was the changing table. That's when he used the changing table.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was when he just came in. He came in and he said, "Hi, Mommy." And then he got in bed and he laid down with me. Yeah. And, then he climbed out and there was no keeping him in. And at that point, when it doesn't matter, you might as well remove the obstacle because at that point it's still a safety risk. His foot, his ankle could get stuck between the bars, like his hand, something could happen. And so I was like, I guess we're just finally going to do this. Well, we've been technically potty trained for a while at this point. So I'd been meaning to get rid of the changing table, but he played on it. He puts his animals on it. He climbs up on it. He throws balls down from it. So I was like, I don't know how I was going to react to that. So when we decided to do the toddler bed, I was like, we'll just get rid of it too. And so we did, our bed converts. So we put up the toddler rail, which was a bitch.
They have the complicated one. It has 2 pieces and a little piece or something.
It didn't cost what you would think it would based on how complicated it was. And so, but anyway, so we got it figured out. I had a ton of anxiety. I was just convinced he wasn't ready, that he didn't have the discipline to stay in bed because he also has toys in his room. And I mean, when he had gotten out the last couple of times, gotten out the last couple, the times before that, he ran out ready to play and stuff. And I was like, this isn't going to work. Yeah. So the first night that we did it, he went down. He was very excited about his big boy bed. He got to watch a little bit of stuff on my phone and laying in his bed and just kind of getting used to it being a place of comfort and not this weird, change for him. And he actually went to bed fine. We did our same routine that we did. We got him dressed. He did not like that the changing table wasn't there. I had to leave the pad in for a few more nights before I could get rid of it. He did fine. The second night, he came out after we put him down to bed. Yeah. And was like, hey, came into the kitchen I'm ready to do some things. And I was like, buddy, you have to go to bed. And he's whined and cried and he was really mad, but he went down pretty easily. And that was actually the only time in the last 3 weeks or so, however long it's been now, I think that's about right, that he has, that he did that. He's not gotten out after being put to bed or napped that I'm aware of. Cause he's still in a crib when he stays with my in-laws a couple days a week when Rick works during the day. But he otherwise he did really great. The hardest thing is when he was in his crib, he was too tired to fight it. So if he got up at 6, we didn't know because he'd go back to sleep because he couldn't get out. Yeah. Now that's not the case. So this morning was a 5 o'clock morning. And it's been like that pretty much since he got into the bed. I think he's had a couple of days where he slept till 7, but most days he's up between 5 and 6 a.m., which is before, even on work days, that's before we're up for work. So that part is horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I don't mean to laugh.
And I know what you're thinking. Oh, just get one of those door handles. Sure, that works great. Until he screams his head off and freaks the fuck out because he can't get out of his room and he doesn't understand and it's dark and it's scary and he's panicking. So that didn't work. That wasn't an option. He can pull down baby gates.
Hopeful, but it didn't work out.
That's all we got. There is no there's nothing. And today, we had Oliver and I had some friends that came over today and hung out, and they were like, yeah, well, one of the things that worked really well for them, that still works really well for them, is their daughter co-sleeps. Oliver will not co-sleep. He will not get in the bed and sleep with us. He will not get down. He won't even lay down. Most of the time, especially if he's tired, he's doing everything he can to not lay down. And so in the mornings, like one of the mornings, like very beginning, like maybe the third or fourth morning after we transitioned, he did get in bed and go to sleep with us, and it was the happiest moment of my life since he was born. I miss co-sleeping so much, which is a reminder, we only did for like a couple of months, but I would have done it for a lot longer if he'd let me. But he will not sleep in the bed with us. So I don't even get that. I don't even get he's up at 5 and in my bed. I would not care if that was the case, as long as I got more sleep. But it's rough. That part is very rough.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, we talked about it because around 1:30 in the morning, Aria will wake up. It's between 1 and 1:45. It varies some mornings, nights, whatever you want to call that time of day. And I'm pretty sure it's because she's peeing, but we're not there yet with potty training. Like, diaper to bed. We're not there yet. She's not awake enough. She just gets up and she kind of cries.
Yeah, Oliver still wears a diaper to bed.
Yeah.
Or pull up.
But sometimes she'll come out and we're like, okay, go back to bed. And so we'll lead her back and she goes back to sleep. But then she does, and it's not every morning, but there are mornings when she gets up around 6. And we're just fortunate that she will go back to bed because we never did the co-sleeping. That wasn't something that we did. And it's something that we do now for like a morning nap because she'll get up and I don't know why. Maybe she peed and it woke her up. Maybe there's our neighbor upstairs gets up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and is loud as everything. So maybe she wakes her up in the morning, but she kind of like comes in our room and it's like, hi. And then one of us picks her up. Or sometimes I woke up one morning and didn't even know she had come into our room and she was just asleep. But
I wish.
That's the only time that happens for us.
I think it's interesting. I've had a lot of conversations with Mom about sleep transitions.
Yeah.
And and I know a lot of moms that have said things like, oh yeah, we didn't co-sleep, but then we ended up co-sleeping. Yeah. I think that's really interesting that that's the way it worked for them. When us, it was the opposite. Yeah. Of course, not like when he was a newborn, he had a choice. Like I just did it because that's what felt safer for me. Sure. And I slept better that way. And it was easier because at the very beginning we were breastfeeding. So it was much easier for me. But yeah, like I think that, I think I got lucky with how easy it was in that regard. Mm-hmm. But the sleep thing, I know all the moms that have been dealing with this, their kids' whole lives are like, wham. But when you are used to having a child that sleeps until 9 a.m., it is very difficult to adjust to 5 o'clock in the morning.
And I don't even, look, if you have advice on what to do, besides the baby gate and handle, because I don't work.
Oh yeah, and I'm waking him up from his naps. He's not overnapping. I changed his bedtime to an earlier bedtime because they say that like there's like a sweet spot for them. For every kid it's different. That like if you miss it, they're overtired, which is actually what makes them wake up. Like I've changed his bedtime. I've cut his nap time so that he's definitely tired time for bed. Like, and the thing is concerning is, I mean, it's not just because it's aggravating for me, but he's not getting enough sleep. Mm-hmm. They are at the age where they're supposed to be getting 11 to 12 hours of sleep at night, not including naps. And there are days he's not getting that in a whole day. Yeah. And I worry about that part because I can't make him sleep. No. That's not really a thing. Duct tape, maybe. But that's it. Like there isn't anything I can do. And I'm trying to encourage him to lay with me in the mornings just to see if I can get him to just go back to sleep, even if it's just for a little bit. Yeah. If he were getting up at 7, I would feel so much better about how much sleep he's getting. But then the other day he was so tired. It was a day that he woke up at like 4:40 and would not go back to bed because he doesn't go back to bed when we try. And he definitely took a 4-hour nap.
Oh yeah,
because he was exhausted. Over, right? And it's hard because it's one of those things where it's like I don't want him to overnap so that he's not tired, but he needs the sleep. I mean, you can see his little eyes. He comes out. And he's like little bags, and he's barely able to like look around and say anything because he's so tired. I'm like, there's a solution for that. You could stay in bed until 12, especially on the weekends.
But if you have any tips or tricks, let us know down below. Also, what was it like when you transitioned to a toddler bed? Did you do the toddler bed or did you go straight to a full-size bed? Because our cribs do transition into full-size beds. They're the ones where you take the sides off and then you get the rails and it's a full-size bed.
Yeah.
Or I know people who transition to twin beds. That was like a very common suggestion when I was talking about it with different moms in my mom group. And they're like, we just went to a twin. I'm like, there's not room in her bedroom for a twin. Not doing a twin. Like,
no, and I don't know. Like, I think it's been an interesting journey so far. I am not awake. I'm not awake ever. Like, for the last 3 weeks, I have been like, well, I mean, last week wasn't a super fun week anyway, but in general, like, it is hard being this tired. I feel like I have a newborn. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
it's
so
horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
I don't even know. Like, so, anyways, that's been our toddler bed journey. The beginning of it, because I'm sure they go through. There's still phases that we're not even to yet. I mean,
I think this is similar to a sleep regression. Like, that's what it reminds me of. That inability to, like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Sucks.
But then once they start to recognize that they're going to the bathroom in the nighttime and they wake up and
that's like a whole nother thing. Yeah,
that's why we're doing diapers. I'm like, we're just gonna deal with it later.
He's done so great with potty training. I'm not pressuring him on that part. He doesn't have to be night trained right now.
No, not concerned about the night training.
Not a priority.
No. But anyways, we're going to leave you with these words of make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment down below. How's your journey been? What was your journey like? What did you do when your child woke up in the middle of the morning and you still needed more sleep? Or any advice that you may have. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at @MomIslyMe. And I think that's all we have for today, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to leave you with a slideshow of our kiddos and their toddler beds. We'll see you next time. Bye, moms.